As Roe v. Wade has just been overturned in the US, I thought now would be a good time to ask important questions regarding women's bodily autonomy and abortion. I personally believe that every woman has the right to her own bodily autonomy within reason. Republicans constantly state that women should not be allowed a decision regarding their own bodily autonomy as the opinions of the child have not been taken into consideration. The fact of the matter is that if that child were placed into the wilderness, they would not survive. Moral question number 1. Does the mother have more or less rights over the child? What gives the mother more control over the child than the child has over the mother? This is an interesting question, and I believe the answer comes down to total net worth. Net worth is an easy way to determine whether someone is superior to someone else. If the child is a crypto millionaire and therefore has a greater net worth than the mother, sorry mommy, but you're giving birth to this baby, whether you want to or not. However, if the mother has a greater net worth than the child, then sorry kiddo, but you're getting spiked. Another argument made by Republicans and far-right extremists is that due to simple biology and the nature of DNA, then surely the mother only owns half of the child and therefore should only be able to abort its legs. This is an opinion born of a draconian, primeval mindset. The child's genetic makeup has no bearing upon the power of the mind. You have no way of knowing whether that child identifies more with the mother or the father, and with no way of asking them, you must rely on the old adage of, if she can't say no, you're good to go. Abortion is a highly emotional subject, specifically when it comes to the morality of the action. Moral question number 2. Does the human fetus have any rights? Some would argue that a fetus is not a person and therefore does not have any rights. However, the counter-argument would be that there are many animals that are not people that still have rights. So the question becomes, is the human fetus a cute animal or a disgusting animal? Taking a look at the babies of certain couples, we can determine that their babies are highly ugly and therefore not deserving of any kind of rights or respect. Moral question number 3. Are there any situations in which aborting a child for any reason could be considered morally wrong? For instance, if the child was going to be black, would you be morally in the right for aborting them to save them from entering the hood? Another question could be, if the child was going to be born a were-hyena, would you be morally right for aborting them to prevent them from being eternally cursed? Both of these questions have no bearing on the original question of, is abortion wrong? The reasons for getting an abortion don't matter, only the action itself matters. The actual moral conundrum regarding these two questions relates heavily to the hotly debated question of, is it okay to rape a Nazi as a child? This question has been pondered by many famous philosophers, such as Ethan Klein and Billy Cosby, and they determined that the act of child rape is wrong. However, if given the opportunity, they would do it. Moral question number 4. When in the incubation period should a child be considered a living creature? With some people believing that a child is living at the point of inception, and others believing that a child is never classed as living even after it's born. The correct answer is that a child should not be considered living any time before they begin doing taxes, as until this point they contribute nothing to society. A parasite is defined as an organism that lives in or on an organism of another species, and benefits by deriving nutrients at the other's expense. And what do children do but take everything you have in fucking child support, which should be illegal, on top of paying alimony? Many conservative, devil-worshipping Christians would argue against abortion by saying if abortion doesn't result in the death of a living creature, then why in the hit 1995 action blockbuster Terminator did the titular character of the Terminator travel back in time to kill Sarah Connor, the mother of John Connor, to ensure that in the future John Connor could not lead the human resistance? To this I would say that the time travel in the Terminator series has been retroactively ruined by sequels created by greedy corporations looking for a cash grab. As set up in Genesis, time travel doesn't actually change the future because Skynet will always happen, regardless of what anyone does in the past, and a resistance leader will always rise up. And it doesn't matter whether you ignore Genesis or not, it still got made and it's still technically canon. So the question becomes, due to the emotional nature of the issue and the differences between the people who debate it, is there any middle ground on this subject? I believe I have found a solution that will keep everyone happy. In order to achieve this, we must first determine what everyone wants. The left simply want abortion, while I believe the right actually want those in favour of abortion to admit that abortion is morally wrong, as opposed to actually caring. In this pursuit, I have determined that the most logical conclusion would be to legalise abortion, but the mother should be given a hammer, and a kitten should be brought into the clinic. In order to receive the procedure, the mother should have to beat the kitten's head in with the hammer to ensure that they know killing is bad. The Republicans are happy because the mothers are traumatized, and the Democrats are happy because they can continue to sacrifice their children to the demon Moloch. This is a flawed solution, as like most world issues, technology is simply not advanced enough to ensure harmony. In a perfect world, the child would be instantly grown, birthed with no pain, and given to the mother so she could love it, before the doctor snatches it from her hands and smashes its head against the wall. But what do you think about the issue? Leave your opinion in the comments below, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe.